easy Lux. So Lux is a champion that usually fills a more controlling role in Runeterra. She says, when I've seen you cast 6+ mana worth of spells, level me up, and create you a Final Spark, which deals 4 to an enemy, and notably has Overwhelm, so it deals excess damage to the opponent's Nexus. And I really liked this build of Lux last time we played it, because as opposed to using Lux as a control tool, this deck is really looking to leverage her as kind of a top-end finisher in a more aggressive shell. So we're pairing her with Ezreal here, who levels up when you've targeted enemies a bunch of times. So Lux technically helps you level Ezreal, and Ezreal creates Mystic Shots, which allow you to get points towards leveling up. So these two champions kind of work well together. And then Ezreal's leveled mode, if you get his leveled mode out while you have Lux making Final Sparks as well, make your Final Sparks deal even more damage, which is sweet. The rest of the deck is just kind of good interactive stuff. The key thing about this deck is a lot of our interaction doubles as reach going to the opponent's zone. So things like Mystic Shot, Get Excited, Aftershock, these are cards that can hit our opponent's Nexus, but also can be used to control the board in the early game. Actually, one thing, looking at this list and thinking about cards from the new set, I think I think almost assuredly, Ballista Bot is better than Chump Wump at this point. So last time we played this deck, we didn't have this card. I think if you asked me to pick a card for one of the best cards in this set, I would say Ballistic Bot is up there. Just provides you a pretty endless flow of things to discard. So also provides a little bit of reach, which is nice. I'm going to add an extra Rummage here, since we're adding Bot as extra fuel for that. All right, I'm going to update the Mobalytics list with those couple of changes, and then we'll dive on into some games here. Yes, I agree. Aftershock is quite good. This is one of the best cards against all these Plaza decks that are running around right now. Hawk, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. You know, honestly, I think I'm just full mulliganing here, looking for our cheap cards to get started, looking for 1 and 2 mana plays. Pretty unfortunate. Rummage might help us filter. Perfect. Nailed it. Bot is looking good. Okay, and this is actually really sweet now, right? So I get to Bot here, and then it'll make an Ignition for next turn, and then Ezreal will create a Mystic Shot, and we'll get to Rummage loot those away. Get rid of both of these fleeting cards cleanly. So we have so many ways to kill Draven in this list. I definitely like full mulliganing to start there to give ourselves the best possible chance to find cheap cards. Because while Draven is important and is going to need to die, being able to kill their cheaper cards that play to the board early is most important. Yeah, killing Battlecaster is quite good here. Depending on what they do here, I might Aftershock this if they don't open.
I gotta work with this Joker.
Okay, so thoughts on what we're doing here. I think we're definitely going to be in the range to start chump blocking this turn. I think I need to Sump Dredger so I don't have to take 2 hits from this. And then I think the plan here is we do this. Go to 11 here. Visionary. Vision is scary. Start a revolution. Pollute in the airwaves. Not a whole lot we could do here. Just on one of the nut draws that happen sometimes. Tet, thanks for the follow. Welcome. One of the downsides to this build as we're playing is our deck does not have any ways to gain life in it. So, our life total just is what it is, so like being down to 8 here likely means we're gonna eat it. If they don't open attacks here, Lux having a barrier is pretty good. Oh, do you have second crowd favorite opponent? I think I'm just supposed to do this so they can't get in the attack here. If it was the right play a second ago, it's still the right play now. The spinning axe from the Draven, actually super relevant here, because I can't block with this and Sharp Sight to save it, because I'll get to do that. So I think we just have to chump block here, unfortunately. Maybe they spinning axe one of these to try and push the level here. Alright, and then I think I gamble that they can't play this card and try and eat their Jinx here. I don't think we win this game if this Jinx survives. Master Chief, thank you for the Prime support. I really appreciate the 14 months. Welcome back.
Safety disengaged.
Don't blink or you miss me. I don't miss.
Definitely feel like we're a bit behind from here, but the game's not just over, so... Their deck doesn't usually play Decimate. Spider's pretty good. Dead Division here.
System upgrade.
Not Dead Division. I'm supposed to prioritize not dying to Mystic Shot here. Still dead to get excited, but I can't play around that. Good pandemic advice there from my friend the Chump Wump. Put on the mask, secure your tail, start your day. Yep, that'll do, pig. I'm pretty happy with my play that game. I don't know if there were any decision points that I really look back on. It was pretty close in the end, considering how aggressive our opponent's start was. Angel Slayer, welcome to the channel. Thanks for the follow. Yeah, sometimes Switch chat's buggy. I'm gonna mulligan these, looking for Aftershock, I think, here, against the Plaza deck. Pretty happy to keep Ballistic Bot into some Dredger, though. Good 2-3 curve here.
Bless the faithful and sear the heretics. Punish transgressors.
Humanity is obsolete.
It's one that's good later.
System upgrade.
the horizon.
Got a couple more draws at Aftershock here. This is another card that's going to be good with this. No Plaza. Okay, that's a good start. It's a good start for the home team. If they don't have Plaza to dominate the early to mid game, Lux with Progress Days should get us well set up to go long here.
Bask in her radiant blessing.
There are cards that gain life in Demacia, but not really ones that we're interested in playing. Our deck's not slanted to be like a super go long control deck. We're interested in burning people out, which means we depend on stabilizing the board against aggro early, and it's having a higher life total. And like that last game, our opponent's draw was very good. It was still incredibly close, so like I don't think our aggro matchup's necessarily bad, and I think making changes to our deck based on that last game would be a mistake.
Can you improve perfection? Our strength is forever at its zenith.
Blessed daylight surrounds you.
Piercing rays!
Super happy to block with this, and then Static Shock down the line. Honestly, it could be right to Static Shock while it's on the stack there, so that way, so that way they can't heal this in response.
System upgrade.
Hi, I'm Lux. No, wait, that's you.
Sorry, do I know you?
Poor Ezreal, chat. Poor Ezreal. For those that aren't familiar with the Runeterra lore, Ezreal has unreturned feelings for Lux. He's just a sad little nerd.
Oh, take your time, pal. It's not like I've got better. Oh, it's you. I mean, hey.
Sorry, do I know you?
The opponent's also a Lux deck. Huh.
One shot, all skill.
Wow, rude. So that's definitely happening. The question is, am I Mystic Shotting to kill this, or am I waiting on the Static Shock for next turn? I might just wait on the Static Shock. I think I'm just banking Spell Mana here rather than playing Ignitions.
Disengage.
I've been hiding my light too long.
Okay.
By the light. Better, brighter than before.
Some hot Lux on Lux action. And normally you gotta pay extra for that kind of thing.
I'm innocent.
I'm innocent. just saying, this is fine. Like, this is taking some damage here and killing my thing, but like, oh gosh, the final sparks trigger ballistic bot as well. Gosh, that's great. Like, dealing extra damage to their dome here is great for us.
To shine like the sun, you must burn like it. Chosen of the sun.
Okay, so... I think I want to spend at least 1 mana here. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna lose the mana anyways, right? I think I'm banking 3 mana into my turn this turn. I mean, we've played this deck before, Lusky, and it was fine last season. I think it's still fine now. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if I play this, we'll go up to 10 cards in hand, and then I won't get my final spark. Let's do this, and then this can mean that we get to generate a final spark.
Sunlight guide you, my brethren.
We think we want to shoot our way through their Leona. Honestly, it could be right to take all of these and point them upstairs at this point too.
Sunlight
We're still working on leveling Israel though. Clan Master, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Yeah, exclamation point name of card does something. Or show you what the card text is. Okay, so she's at 4 of 6. So if I Mystic Shot here in response, I get a final spark and then can kill this. Even if I kill this in response, this still has enough to kill her, so that doesn't do anything. So we're gonna trade champions here. And then like my board is better than their board at this point. Or, like my hand's okay. They do have an Aurelion Soul, which is a little scary, but they only have 1 of those. So hopefully we're in a pretty good spot here now. I imagine they're going to throw these away, at least one of them.
Discipline and conviction. No mercy for heretics. Sunward.
Can you improve perfection?
It's a decent pickup. Raphael, thanks for the follow. Good afternoon.
Daylight star will rule the skies.
Howdy, GOK. You should check out my YouTube channel if you haven't done so already down the line. We've had a couple of sets that we've played the deep in before. Is this a progress day turn? Part of me wants to get that going. Another part of me wants to be able to play this to block both of these profitably this turn. Because, like, if I play this, I can sharp sight it and eat this in combat. I guess it's not that different than sharp sighting here. That's right, yeah. Israel's great. Israel's leveled and we've got a ton of spells in hand.
Evening glows.
Punish transgressions.
Oh, playing the cheaper one there was probably wrong. Yeah, it was probably right to use my 2 mana there. Ah, it's fine. We're gonna save the spell mana.
Safety disengage.
They don't know what they're up against.
Ezreal's pretty good with bot. Bot makes a 1-mana deal too with Ezreal in play, which is great. Well, that's rude. We're aftershocking this most likely. I'll try in. I think we're at the like, we're getting into like the burn them out portion of the game. So stopping their ability to gain life here sounds appealing. They have single combat here, I'm a little sad. Yeah, it took them a few iterations, but the current version of Ezreal is definitely great. All right, and then I think we go ahead and just Ignition here. I'm gonna play the other bot. I could Ignition to crank this up to 7 power, but I have the Mushroom Cloud in hand to do that. So if they want to open on attacks with this, I can Mushroom Cloud and then trade this into here. And this gets my second one charging up, which is nice. If we get to have Lux hang out for a turn or two here, we're gonna be in a real good spot. She's gonna generate some Final Sparks to blast through these. Nah, I think Ezreal's perfect at 6. AK4, thanks for the follow, welcome. And they know about the mushrooms, right? So, like, this is a card that was generated from a chump wump, so this is face up staring him down. Opponent's got a lot of choices over there, I imagine. They've got, what, 8 cards in hand? These start ticking Lux up as well. Not that it probably matters, because we're going to be able to progress day.
Devotion through battle.
Daylight is unsure. These units are unsure what they're doing, chat. Back and forth and back and forth. I suppose if they let us start next turn with these bots, we could go like Ignition, and then level up Lux that way, or get a Final Spark that way, and then Progress Day. We have 12 mana here total. I could technically Ignition, start Sharp Sight, and then Progress Day and get 2 Final Sparks this turn with 12 mana. Because she was at 2 to start. Oh no! Don't stun my 9-1. How will I ever win the game now?
System upgrade. Can you improve perfection?
Are they dead? They're pretty close to it, right? Six. So down to 5, 8. I'll have 9 cards with 2 Final Sparks here.
Can every day be progress day?
All right. Are we blasting? Are we controlling the board, or are we? I feel like we're at a point where I need to be controlling the board. I think I'm gonna blast through Leona here. So I could kill these, prioritizing hitting their life total, but against a star shaping deck, there's a good chance they're just gonna gain a lot of that life back.
Can you improve perfection?
Yep. Well. Okay. Alright, chat. So anyways, I started blasting. Are they dead if they have nothing? This does 2 down to 5. This does 3 down to 2. Mystic Shot is lethal. I believe we have lethal if they're on nothing. They can't star shaping here. They could guiding touch. We saw a guiding touch earlier.
Can you improve perfection?
Pale Cascade technically saves it there.
No more holding back.
Glorious end.
We did have some more gifties during the Santa stream, as I'm taught. Alright, and then do I... Yeah, they could have Pale Cascaded to kill us there, which is, you know, a choice. Should I put mushrooms into their deck? Is that right? I could Zonite to try and dig more burn. Dig to more burn. Just gonna bank the mana. Oh, we have these too, chat. Come on now.
Safety disengaged.
Safety disengaged. Well, I don't have any mushrooms in their deck at the moment. Oh, no! That's fine, we have a Mystic Shot.
Fire till nothing moves.
Last read.
Clad in shining sunlight.
Anything helps.
Can you improve perfection? Join me if you want to live.
Hey, chat, here's the play.
I got ways to find me.
We're gonna high roll a little bit here. We're gonna put triple mushroom into their deck, and then we're gonna draw a burn spell with this progress day that's lethal.
System upgrade. Can you improve perfection?
Oh, I technically can attack here, right? We can full?
I am the future.
Yeah, there's no reason not to, right? Yeah, you get to do 2 damage.
I want that 4 hours.
Oh, here.
Lights out.
Okay, come on. I believe. Progress Day. Wow, that's greedy. Aftershock is lethal. No third star shaping. No third star shaping. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. We were this close. We were so close.
Forge ahead.
Devotion through battle.
Yikes. There were certainly some swings in that game. We went back and forth a little bit. Man, maybe I was supposed to open on Progress Day that turn Lux got hushed. Not playing around Hush on the Lux was probably a mistake. If I'd have gotten like another Final Spark there, we end up pretty different. I'm gonna keep this to kill Lucian. I'm gonna mulligan the rest of these looking for Aftershock for Plaza. That's true. That's true. Playing the lifesteal actually won the game because of the single combat. I'm gonna open Progress Day, we would have gone over max hand size. Oh, okay, yeah, good call. Is there ever any deals to buy cards in this game? No, the cards are all cheap in this game all the time. There doesn't need to be extra deals to give you fear of missing out. Sometimes they do bundles of decks in the store, but they're not that deeply discounted. There's never enough discounts in this game that I would advise you wait. Like the deck deal, yeah. Champions are $3. So not quite $2, but $3.
It's not bragging if you could back it up.
That's true, Narkman. We could have potentially... Well... That changes the dynamic of how this game's gonna play a little bit. Because now I don't have Aftershock to draw to, right? Bodo and Miss Gligo, thanks for the follows. Whale poop.
Here we go.
Fourth deck of the Day Titan. So, Ezreal's gonna die here, but I get to play Lux next turn, apply pressure that way, which is nice. Everything's gonna die. Yikes. One champion, what could it cost? Like $10? Exactly. Opponent played this well, playing around Sharp Sight to save Ezreal on these. That being said, I think I'm going to Sharp Sight to save my 4-3. Sammy and Bodo, good afternoon. Thanks for dropping in today. They did, Logan.
No way.
I think we start on Lux, get working on leveling her up.
Let the light guide you.
Envoy, good afternoon. Sammy. Howdy, howdy. Could we have double sharp-sighted? I guess double sharp-sighted was technically a legal play. Yeah, I've got the second Ezreal here, so like. There's just like the small amount of damage we're gonna deal there probably doesn't matter, and like losing it to like an unspeakable horror there. Did they have mana to horror? No, I think you're right that they didn't have mana to horror because they were only on one spell mana, right? Yeah, that we should have attacked. Shout out to Ruin, by the way, for taking the time to explain themselves instead of just being why not streamer, why not? I frequently make mistakes while playing. I appreciate when people point them out, but instead of saying, "Hey Jeff, why are you stupid? Jeff, why didn't you do the right thing?" What Ruin did there is a great example. Free attack with Lux, probably their deck doesn't run 1 mana pings, is a good summary there. So this kills this, levels Lux so she doesn't die to the shark. We get a final spark to kill this off with. Wow. Well, that all went far worse than expected. Remember when I said that 4 points of damage wasn't gonna matter? That was accurate. And unfortunately, their double plaza is actually really good here, right? Because, like, I have this aftershock that just doesn't do anything effectively. Yeah, we got pretty thoroughly dismantled this game. I don't really think there was anything we could do.
You'll miss me.
One candle for every sun.
That'll do big.
Unlucky.
Definitely a game where single plaza aftershock probably lets us get back into it, but with double, yeah, we're just too far behind. Thanks for the follow, Rain. Welcome to the channel. Jinx Draven. Mystic Shot is great to keep. Mulligan the rest of these looking for other cheap units and interaction. It's pretty good. What's our best draw here? Like a Jury Rig, probably, to Zonite Urchin on 1. And have a reasonable thing to discard. Got a good 1, 2, 3, 4 curve, kinda. Don't really want to get excited on 3 until we get to have something to discard to it that we don't mind losing. Six drop, not great. Probably just ditching the Lux to the Zonite Urchin here if they play a 1-2 and out.
Anything helps. Anything helps.
Block. Right on time, Jury Rig. That's fine. That'll pair fine with Get Excited. You want to offer and take trades as often as possible in this matchup. Because the opponent's deck is a crowd favorite deck, So keeping their board as small as possible makes one of their important payoff cards less good. They have a Draven here. We'll do this with this. They don't have a Draven, so we'll do some Dredger here. But no longer has good attacks. Next turn, we get to play this out, which will give us fodder for the Get Excited. And then in 3 turns, we can get Ezreal going. We're still at 20 here, which is a good start for us. Still don't have good attacks here. They attack in with everything. We go trade here, eat here, take 2 down to 18. And like, they have this, I have this, and I only took 2 points of damage. The fact that they're paused here thinking about this attack makes me think they probably don't have crowd favorite. Because like if they have crowd favorite, they're just like 0% to take that attack. You just don't even think about it.
Time for the main event. It's not Draven, it's Draven!
Like that he throws up little pink fish. Such a good detail. Okay. Could be fishing for a crowd favorite here now at this point. Hey, you know what? I should attack with my 4/3s there, right? That's probably a free roll. There's like no way they block. And if they block, it's good for me. Yeah, just talking about offering trades. These attacks are definitely bad. Or not attacking there was bad. The Mystic Shot is actually a great pickup here because it means that we could double spell to kill this. I guess I'm at 20. I could take a little bit of a hit and then finish this off with a burn spell next turn. What if I just kill Draven Battlecaster here? And, like, take a hit for 3 from this? I think I'm kind of into that, because then I can play Ezreal and finish this off next turn, right? Yeah, I like it. Snow, thanks for the follow. Good afternoon. You are in fact gonna fall.
Don't blink or you'll miss me.
This is a pseudo answer to Jinx depending on when they play her and how the timing works out. Obviously, if they're able to level her up right away, this will not be able to answer her. Actually kind of cute.
Sounds dangerous.
I'm gonna attack with these if they want to trade with any of these. We're happy with that. Not gonna offer this trade into here since I'm Mystic Shotting this anyways.
I salute you.
That's pretty good.
Firing.
There isn't Napier. Their one really big technical failing is the lack of a craft all button. They desperately need a craft all button.
The sun's out, the crowd's ready.
It's one of those things that's like one of the first things new players experience. It's a pretty big miss that it's not there. I think the deck viewer in general is fine. I think it largely just needs a craft all button.
Blood glory.
take your time, pal. It's not like I've got better things to do.
Okay, so these go here, this goes here. Am I putting this here? I don't think so. We just take the hit. I don't want this to die to like a deal too. It's difficult to visualize deck. Maybe all on one screen. It would be nice if you could see there's the button to click to get the curve. Being able to see the curve up on the same screen with the deck list would be nice. Or putting it, maybe it just needs a pile view like we're used to in Magic. I think that's part of it, is people that come from Magic are used to having that pile view.
I'm on a roll.
Level Jinx here is real scary.
Safety disengaged.
I guess I'm confused outside of, like, the pile view, what you want, Tom. Like, do you have an example of, like, what you think a good deck editor looks like? The pile view is helpful for visualizing curves, but that's about it. I think we have to murder this. If we're lucky, she dies before they get a missile. Never lucky.
Sure. They don't know what they're up against.
That turn I missed an attack. I don't always respond to decks being bumped. I have a list at the end of the stream that I go through, and it's all log trivia, so that's not something I have to catch real time. That turn I missed an attack earlier this game that should have turned into some damages. Like, each of these would have dealt 2 here. So, like, if they had been at 8, they'd be at 5, and then we'd probably kill them here. But now, I think I have to just pass the turn banking spell mana, because I think I need to progress day next turn to hit a removal spell to kill Crowd Favorite, because I missed that attack.
Safety disengaged.
Hey, Pushbeat, thank you. Thanks for dropping in today. Well, shoot. Are we dead? I think we've died.
So ordinary.
Obstacle, meet gauntlet.
I guess sharp sights mean we're not technically dead, right? We're, like, not in a good spot, though. Every mana feels important here. It's a damage, though. We lost this game due to the 8-1 overwhelm unit. No, we did not, in fact. If we lose this game, we lost this game because I skipped through an attack that I should have taken. If my opponent either had a smaller board or 8 less life, this game is very different. And again, like, the difference between mediocre players and good players is mediocre players will blame what their opponent drew for their losses, and good players are going to try and dig through and figure out what they did wrong that could have changed the outcome of their game. And this game definitely could have had a different outcome had I played better. We're not out of it just yet, but if we end up losing, it's definitely because of choices I made.
Was weak, but look at me now.
Look at me now. We can dodge a second Jinx, we can dodge a ball. Sometimes lucky. Sometimes lucky.
Time for a true display of skill.
So this is 2, 4, that's 6, 7. So if I play this, I go to 4 mana left.
Time, pal. It's not like
And
I've
then
got
this
better
could find
things
us
to
a
do.
Mystic Shot, or another Ezreal is a Mystic Shot.
Tell me mask, scare me tail, start the day.
Stop the day.
Is coming right up.
And I assume they're going to try and push lethal with the... Oh, they don't have the spinning axe to push lethal. Right. Got it. All right, let's start here.
Hey,
Inferior design.
Raven down.
All right, Lux is definitely too slow, right? And then, I think we're good, right? So, I get to put them to 5, and then I open attacks, and even if they draw burn, we kill them back, right? Sick. I definitely messed up the turn earlier in this game where I didn't apply enough pressure, but it looks like it's gonna get. We're gonna get drug out of it.
Hey, take it to the gun show.
Not bad. Have them dead to attacks and then dead in response if they draw a way to deal the last point.
Safety disengaged.
I don't miss.
Whee! I agree. I think the augment units in general, Ballistic Bot and Niandroid, are definitely my favorites of the sound designs out of the latest card drop. Full of Hope, thanks for the follow. Good afternoon. Another discard aggro. I think Aftershock's too slow to be justifiable keeping in the opener. This looks great. Zoe's got a lot of cute ones, but I think we're again just like rummaging Lux on turn 1.
It's Raven time.
Block.
Yeah, I'm at it play.
Again, take every trade you can in this matchup, make their crowd favorites worse. Howdy, Nanitch. We know they have a Draven because they played. I played his card. I think I'm just taking this pass here. If they open attacks, that's good for us. If they open attacks, we probably just Mystic Shot this. Rummage is lovely to pair with our Chump Wumps here.
It's Draven time.
And then I think I ditch a Chump Wump. That's close. It could be right to just bank mana here, honestly. Maybe it's just Zonite. It's also not exactly Zoe. It's tiny, so it's hard to see, but there's some differences in the face there compared to what's on the card art. I think I'm ditching this.
Let's boogie.
Sweet. And then if they want to attack here, if they axe it, we get to Mystic Shot this, which is a good exchange for us.
Now we're cooking.
That's a great draw, especially with Chump One Pier to fuel it. And more cards like this could have been a reason to keep the second Chump over this. The resource efficiency on this is why I decided to keep this. MJ, thanks for the follow. Good afternoon. And then easy attacks here. I don't think they want to trade for their Draven. And again, this is the mistake I made last game. I didn't pressure early like this. If they want to trade off the rest of these, that's a net positive for us. Keeping their board small is ideal.
I'm innocent.
Makes their crowd favorite draws worse, which are some of their better cards to have here. Oh, that's kind of a... I think that's still fine. I get to get excited. They're going to open attacks. I get to get excited, kill this, take 2. And still be in a pretty okay spot.
Rules are made to be broken. Like buildings or people.
You should try blinking sometime.
Think I Urchin here. We like Urchin, trade, get excited, kill, and then we beam. We plan to beam Jinx next turn. The problem with trying to beam Jinx now is if they have a rummage, I just get Savage because they level her. Yeah.
No, it's I'm on a roll.
Draven out?
Now it's a party.
I think I Ezreal here.
Time for a true display of skill.
I would have tried to kill Jinx and died miserably. Yep. That is, dying miserably is the result of trying to kill Jinx there. And like, so another decision too there is like obviously they had the rummage, so I get to look super smart, right? But the reason why it's extra correct there to kill the Draven guaranteed is thinking about, you want to think about, well, what's the downside if I make this play and they don't have it, right? Like, it's minimal downside and potentially huge, minimal downside to doing what I did, potentially huge downside otherwise. Yeah, we're gonna Mystic, plus Thermo here because we want to get 2 points on Ezreal.
Sure.
They can turn this card into a rocket if they want. Which I assume they do. I assume they want. They had a discard matters card too. That's rough. Is this attacks for 2 now as well? Yeah, we really needed that to just be something that they discarded for no value. my board's a little shook, chat.
Someone get him up!
Well, we're not dead to opens, but we're not in a good spot. Well, think though.
Really doing this?
You're between me and glory.
The play to win line here is keep Ezreal alive, right?
Firing.
Okay. The opponent's archetype doesn't usually play Decimate. Famous last words.
Watch and learn.
So, thermoing the Lux pre-combat prior to Sir Rocket. Yeah, maybe. I did prioritize getting a point on my Ezreal more than anything else there, which could have been wrong.
Witness perfection. Meat bags.
Meet the bugs.
System upgrade.
Sure. Check me out.
Primed and ready.
Captain Pharaon and Decimate are usually not cards the opponent's archetype plays, for people that aren't familiar with it. Obviously, there's variation in everything, but those are not usually cards you have to worry about. Yeah. Lux says 5 mana barrier blocker. Sounds great.
Sorry, do I know you?
Do I know you? Poor Ezreal.
I gotta work with this joker.
Pat Rock, thanks for the follow. Good afternoon.
System upgrade.
So anyways, I started blasting.
Sure.
Pushing my limits.
Sometimes these lists play 1 to 2 augmented experimenter, but yeah, otherwise usually just Jinx and crowd favorite.
Safety disengaged.
The old kill your champion, deal 5 to your face.
Raven down.
Yeah, look at our champions working together, champ.
A beacon in battle.
Yeah, I think that was these games against the discard aggro deck have been a good example of like, Our aggro matchup is close, and you need to play well, but we have good tools for them. We use our interaction to stall the games early, and then once we've gotten control of the game and got the board in check a little bit, Lux and Ezreal allow us to pivot and kill them in the span of just a couple of turns. Really good showcase of like what our deck is looking to do there, I think. Aggro is not in a good spot right now. Man, I will say this. The one thing I'm just gonna take a second. I'm gonna time that person out and take a second. Hold, please. These are the S tier decks on on Mobalytics. These are data-driven decisions. Burn aggro, pirate aggro, slow burn, aggro endure. Like, it is amazing to me as someone who spent a ton of time playing other card games where there's not data, how many people in Runeterra just like completely ignore the copious amounts of data we have available and substitute their feelings.
Anything else?
It's crazy to me. Like, when people talk about things like, well, I think that deck's tier 3, what does that mean? The deck has a good win rate. How does the deck with the good win rate translate to tier 3 to you? There is nuance to some discussion about how good or bad certain things can be, but, like, at a certain point, like, there's just objective data that says... Imad and Alan, something that I've talked about a number of times before that I definitely think is true is in card games, there is a psychological bias against playing aggressive decks, and there is a psychological bias in favor of playing control and mid-range. And if you haven't heard me talk about this game theory perspective before, it basically boils down to this. When you win with an aggressive deck, you win the game very quickly, and it tends to be forgettable. Whereas when you lose with an aggro deck, it tends to be long and drawn out, because mid-range and control decks take longer to win the game than your aggro deck does. And in the flip of that is also true when you are winning with a control deck, you spend more minutes winning compared to when you lose with a control deck, you usually lose very quickly. So there's this very inherent, okay, if you ignore what your actual record is and just look at how many minutes you spend winning or losing, the aggro decks feel worse than they are, which is why it's so important to go to objective, data-driven sources like Mobalytics and be like, okay, what's reality? What does it look like? What is the actual information that I take a step back from and remove my feelings from the equation say?
Time for a true display of skill.
This might be a game where we progress day, even though they're kind of an aggro deck. Yeah, like, so my opponent's deck, this looks like an aggro deck, but they're just, like, interacting with all of my stuff, which seems great for me, right? Yeah, it's also easier to convince yourself you're still in a game that you've been losing in a mid-range control here. Big agree. And that psychological perspective I talked about, that's not unique to Runeterra. That bias exists in Hearthstone, it exists in Magic, like it's something that I see a lot in those other games. I think we chump wump now that we drew that and wait to progress day for a turn. Developing our board has a lot of appeal here. Perfect. I would like to murder those poros, please. the most appropriate sad poro emote ever. I'm gonna take these trades. Definitely, like, especially with progress day in hand, I definitely just want to take this game and drag it out to as long as possible. As this game goes long, we're more favored to win here. This is perfect. Lets us use our mana. Bank exactly 3 to progress day next turn. It's Poggers Day!
Don't blink, or you'll miss me.
Or you'll miss me. Honestly, maybe I'm supposed to sub Treasure there. This Thermo Beam's pretty bad at this point. And again, like, my opponent just spent more burn on my units. Like, every piece of burn they spend that's not hitting my face is an incredible win for me. Deal Reno.
The world's a big place.
I think my opponent misassessed their role in this game.
I'm in. Gotcha.
Yeah, I think we're definitely a garbage check here at this point. My opponent tried to play their bird deck like a control deck this game. I guess we'll just kill them with our cards in our hand. I would like the record to reflect, though, that killing them here means I get to draw fewer cards. So it's probably the strictly incorrect play. Fizzy Dragon, thank you for the 3 entire years of support. Merry Christmas. Thank you for the absurdly generous tier 3. Welcome back.
My name.
Like my name. Hey, good game, Blue Man. Good luck in the rest of your lettering today. I think you were a little bit too defensive that game. We're definitely keeping Aftershock against the Plaza deck, right? This is probably not an Urchin on 1. Have we been to Plat 1 yet today? I think so. I don't know. We always bat about 500 here.
Ours is the one true light.
You full mulled and had all your 3 drops. Rough.
Follow the horizon.
Thanks, Pansy. Yeah, I have really enjoyed it a lot more. Over the summer, I definitely had a variety of not really looking forward to going to work days doing Magic content, and switching to doing Runeterra stuff. I definitely don't have those anymore. Pretty much ready to get up and stream every single day.
Time for a
We just drop this. If they Plaza here, they're not going to have a chance to use it before we Aftershock it. Yeah, so I'll get to open on attacks with this. So that way they can't, like, jump in front of me with a Sharp Sight. And then we'll Zaunite Urchin the Mystic Shot away, and then we'll Aftershock this Plaza.
Daylight breaks on the battlefield. Glorious light rains down.
Fair Squared, thanks for the 2 months of Prime. I really appreciate that. Welcome back. Wouldn't be here without the support folks like you.
Anything else?
That's a nice one. Kills Leona down the line. I agree. Yeah, getting to play Aftershock is really good. We played, Santa played Frozen Mushrooms last night with 3 Aftershocks, and he told me after the fact he was very pleased with that card. If you missed Santa playing Frozen Mushrooms last night, you should definitely check out at least the highlight after we're done today. Skin Spy, thanks for the follow. Welcome, welcome. Are we beaming Leona? I think so.
Stand and fight.
Like, even if they have a way to, like, the downside here is they could have single combat to eat the Ezreal, but that's fine. I've got plenty of card advantage rolled up. We got, like, jump bump into a draw 2 and a progress day here still. This is fine.
Last light.
Brahmaru, thanks for the follow. Welcome, welcome. think we just open on attacks here. They have a lot of blockers that mean I don't really want to attack in, although that changes the dynamic a little bit. This attacks into most of their stuff. Although I guess I don't want to attack into a Hush. Yeah, I'm just gonna start by attacking for 2, get my chip shot. Jaja, thanks for the follow.
First light illuminates the light. Behold the sun's holy light.
Tell me mask, scare me tail.
Start the day. So next turn, we're gonna have 2 + 7, 9 total mana.
I am the bulwark against darkness.
Let the light guide you.
I don't think I'm blocking with Lux if they attack for fear of Hush, but if they don't have Hush, they might just not attack here. Need a competitive Victor deck. Yeah, I think Victor Zoe Gems is super reasonable. You can find videos of that up on my YouTube channel. They could have Orient Soul this turn. It's very true. So if I play this, I don't get a Final Spark because of hand size.
The heavens diminish without my attention.
I think we try and blast through this. Yeah, when they heal it.
Brighter than before.
Okay, Thermo Beam's a good pickup here. So this is down to 6. I get to Final Spark this one out of Oblivion, and then we can Thermo Beam this. They're gonna have generated 2 Celestials with him though, so probably gonna have a hard time finishing against that.
I do love an audience.
Our matchup against this archetype has felt really hard.
Bask in her radiant blessing. The sun's splendor revealed.
I guess I could sump Dredger. Targon's definitely my favorite region. I think we just beam, because I don't want to sump Dredger and then beam for 7 and have them like sharp sight that to let it survive.
The light of my star.
Yeah, this is the problem, right? So like we spent all these resources dealing with Aesol, and then they get to deploy all this stuff to the board.
I didn't do nothing.
A pretty bad spot.
I'm innocent.
I'm so good, I surprised myself.
Okay. So we can Aftershock to kill this, and then Mystic Shot to kill this, and then, you know, assuming they don't deploy anything else, we're okay. But we know that, yeah, we know that we're dead.
Oh, really?
Sorry, easy. So, this deck feels very reasonable against the aggressive decks in the format where all of our cheap interaction like this doubles as removal early on. But the go bigger Plaza decks, even when we're able to keep Plaza off the table, just feel really hard. And I don't know that there's really a good way we can fix that or make it better. Like, our pseudo-aggressive plan just isn't good enough to get under them consistently between, like, their single combats and their star shapings and their guiding touches. And then Aurelion Sol, he's just the king of the late game, right? Like, we just get our progress days and Luxes just get thoroughly outclassed by what that deck is doing. So, I don't know. I don't think... Yeah, I think that's actually a good way to put it. I think this deck sounds like a really good pick ban deck. Like, if you can make sure you're not playing against Aurelion Sol control, this deck's probably very reasonable. Like, I like this deck. Like, Lux and Progress Days are very good in the mid-range matchup, so, like, against other Ezreal decks, and, like, we played a number of really good sets against the discard aggro, like the cheaper aggressive decks I think we're very, very reasonable against, but I don't think you can, like, meaningfully make this deck better without like, stripping it down and turning it into something else against the ASOL decks. Yeah, and I think that I agree with Bird Person there in chat. The Lux decks in general just tend to kind of get outclassed in the ASOL matchup, because Lux is supposed to be like a go big piece of top end in these style of decks, and Sol just like laughs at her and goes much even larger than what she does. All right. At any rate, I've been live for a little over 6 hours, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and call it a day. I really appreciate everybody that hung out. We had a ton of new follows. Thanks everybody for dropping by and checking out the channel here today. Alamitas, thanks for the follow. Speaking of, well, I was going to pull up my website and self-show for a moment. Chrome appears to be locked up. Oh, there it goes. If you're new to the channel, I stream full-time here on Twitch. I do Runeterra stuff 5 to 6 days a week. I also have a website here where I host a lot of my content. You can find past videos up here, as well as this Runeterra decks page where I have things that are broken down by archetype, and then you can click into any of these decks to find my current preferred deck list of it, as well as a highlight video of me playing that deck. My highlight videos, about 20 to 30 minutes, usually have a deck tech, a wrap-up section, talk about what I liked and what I didn't like, and highlighting the deck in a few different games. This is a anecdotal source of deck list of things that I like, as opposed to the Mobalytics deck list page, which is more data driven. So if you're looking for sweet things that anecdotally I've found competitive and interesting, this is a great place to check that out. Thank you, Andreas and Paku and Dr. Milk, for the follows. I will be back tomorrow morning. Speaking of, my schedule link is right there. On the weekends, I'm going live about 10 a.m. And during the week, Monday through Friday, I go live about 9 a.m. Central Time. And I do at least a couple of Runeterra decks every single day. If you enjoy the content and you want to support it, a great way to do that is to send me one of your decks to play on stream. For a small donation, I would love to get one of your decks added to my stream queue here to be played on stream at some point in the future. Hopefully see some of you around again. Everybody enjoy the rest of your day. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, New Year, all that jazz. Thanks, Grabbed.